Hi, I'm Mr. Miyagi, and this is Mr. Miyagi's Workshop. Well, I know it's not Sunday, and I usually come out with one. I've been a little bit slow the last few weeks after that accident, so I haven't got to it as quickly as possible, but I'm getting better. And thanks for your concerns out there from my subscribers. Last time we did a video, we did one on how to install a Sportster front end by lengthening out the main stem on the triple tree. Well, I thought this time I would go into what it takes to mount your old 7/8 handlebars to a stock triple tree on a Sportster. Now there's a couple of differences between the Sportster triple trees and the Yamaha triple trees, the old XS. One is that the distance that these are mounted apart are a bit different. These are set at 3.5 inches on center, and the XS triple trees, the risers are set at 3 15/16 centered on this. They also use a bit smaller hole. Now these are 1/2 inch holes, and I don't remember what these are, but we'll mic them up right now. Okay, I just mic'd them and came out. This is a 12 millimeter hole, which is slightly smaller than a 1/2 inch. And we can turn on this. This is a capture washer. You can see that the 1/2 inch wouldn't go through. Now you can reuse these on the Sportster, but the problem with that is that this takes a 1/2 inch and this is 12 millimeters. So what ends up happening is that doesn't fit quite tight in there, and it's a bit loose. I like a little firmer fit on mine. One thing I do like about the Sportster style riser shocks is that there's a piece of metal in there, and when this gets clamped down, it's rigid, but at the same time you've got the shock absorption of the rubbers itself. On the standard Yamaha, basically all they're doing is they're using the flat washers and stuff, and then this fits down inside, but there is no metal or anything in there. Okay, so what I've come up with, I made a mounting plate when I want to work on my handlebars and stuff. This one's set up for the XS at 3 15/16, and this one's set up for the Harley risers at 3.5. Now this set of handlebars is what was originally on the bike. They weren't bent or anything, so I want to reuse them again, and that way I don't have to go through and redo all the wiring and everything on them. One thing that I did do is that I am using the original Harley Davidson risers. Now there's a couple of different styles that you can see. This is what we've got on here, where it accepts the bolt inside and locks it, and then the nut goes on the outside and screws down. And then they have another style, which is a hard style, that it screws up inside and locks it down. And then we have the really old school one, where they take two split style handlebars and come in from each side. Now this is off an old pan head, and the controls for the throttle and everything would run inside here and out. But we're not using this one. Now what I have done is that I've made up these little shims. Now these shims are basically 1 inch outside diameter and the wall thickness is 0.65 wall. So if you were to take this and cut off a chunk of 0.65 wall, a piece of 7/8 tubing would slide in here. But once you cut them in half and slide them on there, now they become a clamp force. So this is what I've got in here. So when you put the cap on, everything snugs down and you got a nice rigid feel on the handlebars. So this is what I'm going to end up using on mine. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to have to use a little bit longer bolts. These bolts aren't quite long enough to do what I need to do. And there's a couple little other things I need to change on these handlebars. But I wanted to show you that you could do. I've got one top and bottom. Here, let me slide. So there's two halves. So when this goes together, you'll note that these aren't quite round because there's been a chunk taken out of them. But once they're slid into place and everything tightens down, this becomes a nice firm clamp system for your handlebars. Plus this one's already been, this has got a step on it that was from 7/8 to 1 inch for the wiring to run out. Now, I've done just straight 7/8 bars and stuff on these and use the spacers. They work fine. One of the reasons I'm doing this is because I want to keep all my controls that I already have. Again, you don't have to change out your clutch lever. You don't have to change out a lot of stuff. The throttle, the master cylinder, any of this other stuff, the actual controls and stuff, you can leave those alone and just use the 7/8 and use the 1 inch risers. One other thing that you're probably thinking going, well, the master cylinder is set up for a Yamaha and the Harley is a different caliper. And basically, this is a Yamaha caliper and this is a Harley caliper. They're actually made by the same company, believe it or not. And they're basically the same. Not much difference in them. Might take a little bit more fluid to fill them, but the actuation and the braking is still the same. So I wouldn't worry about that. If you do worry about that, if you go to Mike's XS, you can get a double master cylinder, brake master cylinder, which is supposed to handle two calipers, and just use it on the one, you'll be fine. Well, there you have it. We got the handlebars remounted on this unit, and I really like the looks of this front end. I've got a Sportster headlight that'll bolt up into here. It's got the mount and stuff. I'm missing a few parts off of it, so we're going to have to come up with stuff. But it shouldn't be too hard. I'll go to J&P Cycle or one of the other places and see if I can't come up with that. So I hope that little trick of putting the shims in there helped you guys out a little bit. You can see that I've got the other Sportster caliper on there, brake caliper. Found one of these, and actually a good friend of mine happened to have an extra one, so we're going to stick that on there and use that. So anyway, I apologize for not getting out on Sunday. This shoulder right here that hit the ground pretty hard is been acting up, so I haven't been able to do a lot like I want. For some reason, when you get 70 years old, you don't heal as fast. I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, we did take a break. Mrs. Miyagi and I and some friends from Idaho went and fished the Yakima River, fly fished it, and then worked our way over to the coastline and did some fly fishing in that area up by Quinault, and then up to Lyra River up by Port Angeles. and caught some fish, had some fun, drank some beer, had a little small campfire. We couldn't have huge ones up there. A lot of places we couldn't have any campfire at all. We had to use a fire pit, but one of those propane fire pits. Worked out quite well. But anyway, like I've said in the past, if there's any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section down below. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video on how to mount 7/8 inch bars to 1-inch risers on a Sportster front end and still be able to use all your components that you came with your XS. And if you do like it, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that ringy-dingy button so you can get all my little episodes. But this is Mr. Miyagi signing off and wishing you all a safe trip out there and having a good time. Be safe. Hope to see you on the highway. This is Mr. Miyagi signing off.